Howdy do, Rangeroos. This is your friendly Dr. Bach taking you through another edition of Sketchup, designing some phone holders. What we've got right here is a more complicated phone holder rather than just the previous extrusion that we made. We've got a decent block, 2 inches wide, 1.5 inches deep, 4 inches long. You can see that there is a little bit of a T feature going on right here. This is 3.5 inches wide, so it'll accommodate just about any phone on the market. It is in a cutout, which is 1 1/8 deep, and has a cord cutout right here, a 1/2 inch wide, which should accommodate just about any cord. So again, phone goes in here, cord goes in here, and you rest the entire assembly up on the desk so you can take selfies and watch TikTok videos to your heart's delight. Now you'll notice I've got a whole bunch of dimensions here. This isn't just random dimensions. I want to try to work with you to take your skills to a slightly more professional level. So during this video there might be some issues where I delete things or erase things. That's common in engineering CAD programs. So don't worry about that. Make sure that you go ahead and screenshot this. I want you to have the dimensions available so you don't have to constantly just refer back to this. If you screenshot this along with while you're working on your own phone holder, you're going to be able to refer back to the dimensions. So go ahead, take a screenshot now. Excellent job, you have screenshotted. So I'm going to start with my basic brick profile, 2 inches wide, 1.5 inches deep, and 4 inches long. So I've got another tab right here, create new, feet and inches, erase our nameless faceless person, and head over to my rectangle tool, click on the origin, enter 2, 4, and enter. Now I can zoom on in. I can work on zooming on in. There we go. I can zoom on in, and I've got my 2x4 rectangle. If you're not sure, remember you can always check dimensions. That's 4 inches. That's 2 inches. Now, if I look at the dimensions, I need to bring this up 1.5 inches. So push-pull tool for the extrusion. Watch my distance. 1.5 right there. And if you didn't want to just drag it, you can also enter the number 1.5 inches when you use the push-pull tool. So that is 1.5 inches. If you're not sure, you can check. It's a good habit to get into. 1.5 inches right there. So now my overall block sizes are the same as this right here. Now I'm going to start drawing this top piece right there. Now this involves some geometry of design. We're going to be using some layout lines. On a professional CAD program, you would have a feature that allows you to draw hidden lines or construction lines. So this is just kind of a free program. We don't have that ability, so we're actually going to be drawing some lines and then erasing them after the fact. So don't think that I'm making mistakes. I mean, you know, I might make mistakes, but I am actually just drawing some stuff to erase it. So there we have it, nice and big right there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is come up and draw some center lines right here. So if you see this, that's me selecting a line, but it snaps to the midpoint of the line right there. Same thing right here, a line, but you can see on the midpoint, it's called a constraint or coincident constraint. It pops up whenever I go right there. So this is on the midpoint, okay, the center of that, and you can see it's 3.5 inches. So we're going to try to do some math right here. 4 inches from end to end, and from here to there is 3.5. So I am going to use the straight line, make sure I click on the midpoint, and I am going to go 0.5 of an inch or a half inch. Okay, so there is 0.5 right there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure it clicks onto the midpoint and 0.5 or a half inch right there. Now comes the circle tool. I'm going to draw 2 circles. Click on the end point of that line, and I want the radius to be 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to enter 0.25 and hit enter right there. That's a 0.25 circle. Same thing, end point of this line, 0.25. And that should get us where we want to go. I'm going to double check my measurements right here, because if we look at this, it should be 3.5 from the end to the end. Let's just check this. Let me try the tape measure tool. There you go, tape measure there to there. Let me try that a little more accurate. I think it's right. I think I just clicked on the wrong spot. There we go. So there to there is 3.5. So that is the dimensions that I want. At this point, I'm going to save this. It's commonplace that you make a mistake and you can't save it, or you lose your internet or something like that. So trust me, when you get to a stopping point like this, make sure you save. So I am going to save this under phone holder with charger cutout. You can save it under whatever you want. Let's see, phone holder 2 for me, and I'm going to save it there. Now that we saved it, I have to draw the lines that go across the top right here. You see, we have the circle, and then it is connected via line right there. So using the pencil tool, the line tool, I'm going to allow it to click on the top of that circle, tangent to the circle, and then draw it all the way to the center part of that, top of that right there. Bottom to the bottom. So this is the beginning of our geometry. Use the eraser, and we can erase any lines that we don't currently need. So right there we have our notch. Using the line tool, I'm going to snap onto the midpoint right there and come straight across and intersect that. That is our center point right there. That's what we want. Now if we look at this, we can see that that is a 1/2 inch wide. Okay, so it's a 1/2 inch up there. In order to do some basic geometry here, I'm going to do some more lines. So the midpoint of this line, 1/2 of a 1/2 inch is 1/4. So I am going to come from the midpoint here and go 0.25. Okay, so you can see on my length that I draw 0.25. Watch it again. Start from the end point there. Go this way, 0.25. Now what this has drawn us is a 1/2 inch, and I can check that. Use my tape measure tool from end to end. Try that one again. Tape measure, end to end. Says it's a 1/2 inch, so that's exactly what I want. Now from here, I can go ahead and draw up, and also draw down. Make sure it clicks on the edge. Draw down, and I can use my eraser to erase anything that I don't actually need at this point. I have no idea why it's changing colors. It's been glitching on me a little bit today. Oh, for some reason it took stuff out. Let me back up there. Let's try this again. Use my erase tool. Same thing's happening. There you go. Let me try one last time here. Okay, well, it keeps on doing that. I'm going to roll with it. Let's see what happens next. Use my push-pull tool right here, and all sorts of badness is happening. There we go. Let's see if that didn't do it. There we go. Sometimes it just happens. It's the free program, so all I did was mess with the lines. It's still a ½ inch wide there, but you can see that it took me a few tries in order to get it. Um, but what matters is I got it and got around the glitchiness of the program. I always try to leave my mistakes in there so that you can see that, you know, it happens. It does indeed happen. So this is where we want to be right here. We've got ½ inch wide, ½ inch wide, and it's the proper dimension across. Now if we look over here, it is 1 1/8 deep. So I need to use my push-pull tool right here. And we are going to select this and watch the distance. I'm going to go down 1 1/8. There we go. 1 1/8 right there. So this is the decent proper geometry once we got past the whole possession thing that the program was glitching out on me. You can go ahead and check the dimensions based off the screenshot. The last thing that I'm going to ask you to do is put your name on it somewhere. So let me click save now that I've got everything done. And it's time to go ahead and put in my name. There it is. So I'm going to do Bach, choose permanent marker. The height is 3/8 of an inch. The text extrusion is 1/16 of an inch. And now I can find wherever the heck I want to go ahead and put that. There you go. I'll put it right there on that point. Okay, so this is a little more complicated than the projects we did in the past. Please remember that you want to get the geometry right, and you might have to play with it to get around some of the program glitchiness. When you are done with this, we are going to be printing these off for you so you can actually use them. Go ahead, stop this video, rewind, and replay as many times as you need in order to get the concept and do this. And don't feel bad if you have to use the back button or you have to erase something or you have to do it over again, because as you saw in my video, I even encountered some problems. Okay, good luck. Let us know if you need any help.